أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه ومن تبعه وله وسلم تسليما كثيرا. أما بعد, inshallah, today you are going to have hands-on experience on finding a solution for the problem. And the problem that we have is that every masjid, basically, or every Islamic center facing, which is recruiting the volunteers. And after recruiting the volunteers, for sure, assigning them to different things. All right. So when we say recruiting volunteers for the month of Ramadan, Sister Mariam, I don't know whether we can open a document that everybody can see and we just go on it, like whatever we discuss, you just start putting information on it. You can open a document and you share screen. You hear me? Can you hear me? I think you're
Yes,
muted.
Sheikh, I can hear you now. Sorry, I had a little bit of
Okay, you're muted. Can we open the document, and then whatever we discuss, you start writing in it. So we see in the solution developing. I want to make sure that all the sisters are on the same page here. You are interested, you are attending, you are, I don't want to just, sitting in the class without paying attention. So please, this is important. So can two of us share screen at the same time, or it has to be only one person?
Sister City, do you know about that? If we can, two people can share at the same time? Multiple participants can share simultaneously. Yeah, so it can be done.
Assalamu alaikum.
Assalam.
Sister Mariam, you can do Sheikh Mamdouh like a co-host. He can share the screen.
I just did that. There's no option for co-host, but we can still share multiple screens. There we go. Inshallah, this should work.
Okay.
So just to try that, let me see if that works. All right, I'm sharing my screen. Can anyone else share if you want to share yours, and maybe we can see it.
So this is the screen that you're sharing, Sister Mariam, now?
Yes.
So you're going to write in this, or it is not editable? Is this like just a picture you're sharing, or because why I don't know why you keep muting yourself?
Can you see? Can you hear me now?
Okay, so you can write in it, right?
Yes, I believe I can. Yeah.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I want to share. Where is the? Right, so if I want to share my screen here, you guys can see my screen now?
Yeah, there's lastly.
Do you see my screen now or no?
No. Don't.
Yes, I can see it.
You can? Okay, I
Yes,
can't.
there is on the left bottom, the left top, you can see screenshot. If you click on there, you can select whose screen you watch. At the left top of Zoom, it says screen share too.
Yeah, I see it. They give you an option, but you can only see one screen at a time. So if you
No,
have
it
to
says
switch back and forth.
multiple participants can share simultaneously.
Yes.
Okay, now what I want to, do you see me? Do you see my mouse moving?
Let me get it open.
Yes, when you talk in the icon of your name, we can see you. Or I
Okay,
can see you.
that is what we're gonna do now. Do you see the criteria here? 1, 2, 3.
Yes.
Okay, first, before you choose any, whenever you have a problem, all right, then see that you care about it. You do care about it. In our community, the mushkil or the problem of problems is that a person does not like something, and they just throw it at somebody to make it likable. Are you following? So I don't like something. Oh, I don't like this door opening like that. And that's it. Move on. And now from the other side, I see these issues happening every day. Somebody doesn't like the door, somebody doesn't like the heat, somebody doesn't like the AC, somebody doesn't like like that. And nothing is solved. So that's one issue. So now you have to pick, as a community member or a community leader, some issue to solve. You cannot solve everything at once. So you have to choose something. But what is the criteria based on which you choose? Please mute yourself while I'm talking, inshallah. So you have to care about the problem. You have to pick a problem that it is relevant to you. Don't worry about others, but you. Is there something that it's currently working, you're currently working on, or it's a problem that you are very interested in tackling, which we have it now, that it is the volunteering problem. You know about it. You just did not hear. I'm telling you, okay, we have a volunteer problem. If I ask you now, what do you mean by that? How much data you can give me? How much information you can give me about Masjid Salam volunteering system? You see? So you can, part of the problem actually that you do not have enough information about it. That can be the problem. So you say, okay, volunteering, yeah, this is, I care about Masjid Salam and I want people to volunteer as a zonal council or as an imam or as a director or whoever, whatever your position is, you care about it. But you know about the problem. Now we're going to solve it, right? But how much do you know about it? If I ask you now, how many volunteers currently are Masjid Salam? Any sister can tell me?
Guesstimate.
How many?
30 or 40.
Okay. What is the most important category of volunteers at Masjid Salam?
Planning, logistics, and execution.
Actually, the administration and council.
Yes.
They are volunteers too, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
yes. You see what I'm saying? Like, that's what I'm trying to say is I'm not trying to put anybody in the spot. But do you know that we have about 150 youth volunteers that are on the list of Masjid Salam? They show up on events and all of that. Not necessarily they are working volunteers, but there are 150 list of volunteers, some of them active, some of them inactive. Why they are inactive, that's a story for another time. And what do we do with that list? That's a story for another time. So how much you know about it? Do you know through research, or you know through hearsay, or do you guesstimating, or what? I want you to pay attention to this, because inshallah, after this class, whenever a problem is mentioned, that's what you're going to be doing as sisters in Masjid Salam. That's you're going to be doing exactly that. This problem I care about, this problem I have enough information, or I'm going to go get enough information about it. And then the problem has to be scoped appropriately. The problem has to be scoped, appropriately. How long you're going to save? You're going to fix it. Like the course I'm taking, for example, is 6 weeks course. So do not give a problem that will take 6 months. So now Ramadan is coming in 5 weeks, right? So this problem has to be solved in about 3 weeks. Why? Because you do not solve the problem of volunteers right in the first day of Ramadan. Would that be appropriate?
No.
Of course. So you need half of this time. So 2.5 weeks, you have to solve this problem, and 2.5 weeks, you have to act on the solution that you found. Okay? So this is, a problem I was tackling, and I wrote about it and the description and why do you care about this problem and on all of that. So we exit this this one here, and let me tell you the second week. So now I described the problem, I found the problem. Now we're gonna put them in the fishbowl. So Sister Mariam, you pay attention, okay? So I want you to see now what's going to be happening now. Some magic is going to be happening now. Okay. So we have a template diagram. That is the fishbone thing that you have in front of you. Now we need to concentrate on 2 criteria. Now we know the subject, right? What is the subject? Recruiting volunteers for the month of Ramadan at Masjid Salam. That is our problem now. Recruiting volunteers for the month of Ramadan at Masjid Salam. Now we have to have an accurate problem statement. That is what I just did. Right? We are not stating any implied solutions here, because this is a problem that we always jump into solutions. Now, your background knowledge and any source material that we have to use. Now here is my problem. Can you read it? My problem is solving marital disputes. How do I solve marital disputes in a multi-ethnic faith-based community? If I solve marital disputes, everybody think it is the same. That's not the same. If a couple comes to me from Pakistan, it's different from a couple comes from Egypt, it's different from a couple comes from Malaysia. And what about like if they are, interracial marriages, that even adds to the issue. So they have cultures in it. What if there's some new Muslim that adds even another layer to it? What if one side is born and raised in the States and one side is not? That adds another layer of the issue. You see what I'm saying? So marital disputes in multi-ethnic, and add the biggest layer will be like faith-based. They are Muslims. They're supposed to be Muslims. So now, how I filled this diagram here, you see those big squares on the top, the darker ones, 2 in the top, and there are 2 in the bottom, right? Those are main issues of that problem, the main contributors to the problem. So I have disparities in cultural backgrounds. Disparities means big differences in cultural backgrounds. American or not American, Middle Eastern or not Middle Eastern, from Far East or not from Far East, from Africa or Asia. Then you have religious and cultural beliefs. One side may say, I want Sharia, one side they want this and want that. Some said the culture, there is no divorce in our culture. Some people come and the wife is abused and she has a purple eye But she says, my family said divorce is haram in our family. There is no way that you can get divorced. Yeah. I see that. And a man does not want to divorce his wife, even though she's not good or he is not good. And he doesn't want to divorce. Why? Because it's shameful. If I divorce my wife, that means I let her go and she marries someone else. This is shameful for me. So culture. And you have religious beliefs. Religious belief, this is the way it is done. Khula' versus this versus that. While people want to go to the state and they want to do the legal way, which contradicts with the Islamic way and all of that. So this is the main issue. This disparities in culture and the religious and cultural beliefs. While the one in the bottom, various organizational loyalties and affiliations. People with ISGH are different from people with Al-Faruq. People with Masjid Salam is different from people with Masjid Ansar. Right? Tablighi Jama'ah is different from this and that. So everybody have loyalty to their group. Some people have loyalty overseas. They take their fatwas from and stuff. Apparent conflict between religion and the legal system. And I said apparent means it's not necessarily true, but it's apparent. Under each one of those, this is the main bone. If you see the main bone, the blue line in the middle, and then those are the bones that coming out, going towards that bone. That's the main issue. Then with each of those issues, there are sub-issues. Yani organizational loyalties and affiliations. You have micromanagement and the lack of coordination with organizations. Each organization, they micromanage their people and all of that. Most religious nonprofits act independently. There is no umbrella company, umbrella organization. So that adds also to the marital disputes problem. How can I solve it? If I find a solution in Masjid Salam and somebody in Masjid Salam does not like it, he's going to go to Masjid Maryam to solve his problem, the way he likes. Or go to Al-Faruq, or I'm going to go to Madrasa Islamiyya, something like that. Right? Then for the conflict between religion and all of that, difference between following religion and practicing it. Some people, they practice the religion, some people are just following the religion. I'm a Muslim. Then they go to the court, they don't see haram, halal, it doesn't matter. Some people practicing, and then they find that also they're getting transgressed. I'm practicing, I don't want to the court, but my mahar that was given to me or assigned to me 20 years ago has no value over now, and you are telling me that I only get my mahar, and that's it? You see? So there's a problem. The absence of religious modules similar to legal ones. You go now, Google now, if you Google now, and you say divorce process in Texas, you'll be surprised. Just put divorce process in Texas. They'll give you diagrams that telling you the steps, flow chart, is this contested divorce or uncontested divorce? Yes or no? This divorce is contested, yes or no? If it is yes, then this is where you go. If it's no, this is where you go. Is it with children or without children? Yes or no? If it's yes, you go this way, you go that way. And you keep going until you finish. With our rich, can you imagine this shocker now? With our rich Islamic heritage of 1400 years, we do not have that in any book of fiqh. There is none that, that says that, this is the process. When divorce happens and you put it in the form of a chart. It's all over the book of fiqh. And then Imam Ahmad said, Imam Abu Hanifa said, but this agrees. But then you get lost into the details of the details before you even realize what is happening. Right. Now, if we go up here, the cultural backgrounds, your fear of integration in larger society, losing cultural identity. So people are afraid, especially the older generation. They're afraid. And there are taboos and stigmas around divorce and counseling. I'm not crazy to go to counseling. Husband doesn't want to go, the wife doesn't want to go. They're scared to come to the masjid because people will see them. And if a woman is divorced, means she's a bad woman. If she failed in 1 or 2 or 3 times in marriages, means she's a bad woman, she cannot. Or a man, he got divorced 1 or 2 times, means he's not a good person. and everybody says, see. So if a man succeeds in something that the women do not like, then all the men will say to the women, see, he succeeded. And if he fails, all the women tell the man, see, he failed. So we have these issues. Religion and culture beliefs inappropriate dispensing of religious knowledge. Sometimes people give fatwas, and sometimes people do not know how to teach and all that. Absence of educating community about larger culture. So today, that's what we are trying to do now. Okay? Today, that's what we're trying to do now. Now, you see, this is exactly what a fishbone structure is. Okay? Then you have to make interpretation. You have to explain it in words now, after you saw that. And then you have to find what is the cause of each problem and what is the leverage point on it. You have to briefly describe it and so on. So let's start based on what you just saw now, right? Let me show you first, before we start, what is the next step after that. Next step after that. So now I have to select one solution of the solutions I give. Let's say I reach the solution now. So my solution that I will work on is to approach Islamic nonprofits in Houston, Texas, for collaboration among themselves to create a policy dealing with marital disputes. That's something I can work with. I cannot change the world, but I'm going to propose something that the nonprofits have to see this as a problem. So how I'm going to go about that? I have to do all of these things. That's my homework, that I have to approach people and all of that, working with attorneys to design something, doing this, doing that, all of this. Now, this is going to be the next thing. Remember the problem that we have? So my problem is creating a legal religious prenuptial agreement. I have to introduce it, introducing the customizable agreement to Islamic centers. Once it is introduced to Islamic centers, they have to start promoting it and providing the service as part of package. Now couples will start adopting this agreement, and then we have less litigation and court disputes, no conflict between civil and religious marriages, the solutions, marriage is saved. That is the ideal way, dreamy, very dreamy. But that's how we should put it, so you can understand exactly the progress of solving your problem. Now I have something called log frame. I have to, you see the arrow now going down. First I have to create this legal thing. What would be the main points? I have to seek legal advice, I have to see legal challenges, the copyright of the agreement, number of organizations supporting, number of organizations not supporting. So with each step of those, there are challenges. I have to write them down. And then I have to analyze that, analyze it like this. And then you have to see some unintended results. So you succeeded in implementing your plans. It does not mean that the world will clap for you. You'll have things coming in your face that you never expected. So you have to think about those also when you're making a solution. So you solve the volunteer problem as we will do now, but what is going to happen? Oh, we have a parking problem. Oh, we have boys and girls together. That's unintended, those things that we did not see. So now we have to see, now we have the volunteers, what would be the possible challenges that would have, so we can avoid them. So I suggest, for example, once I come up with an agreement, and now I give it to IGH and everything, we have Islamic organizations who do not want to work with IGH, they want to start their own agreement and have a monopoly over it. Or the Islamic society itself have a monopoly over it, and they say, it's not available for everybody unless you are a member of IGH, something like that. So having the ability of being customized, that can be abused religiously. by husband or wives to gain unwarranted rights using religion. That's unintended also, but it is going to happen. New Muslim converts, for example, may be manipulated because of their lack of Islamic knowledge. Somebody said, oh, that's a Sharia compliant thing, sign here, babe. And she signs, and then later on, she does not know, she signed her life away. The contract is customized to serve more of cultural norms rather than religious teachings. So people will mix that. More litigations may start for being deceived or signing under duress. Divorce attorneys opposing it since it will affect their business. Okay, now I'm going to close this now, and I will stop my sharing. And I want you, honestly, before we go any further, to tell me what you think about what you saw. Raise your hand and go for it. Go ahead, Sister Maimuna.
Daunting, paralyzing, to part paralyzing. Like it's overwhelming.
Yeah, it's overwhelming, and that was the intention, by the way, that we oversimplify complicated things, and that's why we do not go any further. That's why we don't solve problems. Yeah. So 281-844-7884. That's why I advise everybody, please write a name. Go there on the screen there or something like that, and go to your profile and change a name so I can call you by your name. There's nothing like, I'm not gonna report it to FBI or anything like that. So just write a name so I can call you by it. But go ahead.
I'm sorry, that's me, Sheikh. That's Sister Nurat, and I'm following your instructions right now. Okay. I actually have a contrary opinion. I think it takes one that has gone through an experience as such as you've described to kind of understand and follow the logistics of what you just explained. I feel like it is if something like this could be put together, I think it will be very, very helpful for the community, inshallah.
And that's what I want you to do. And that's what my gift to this class is. You know, I pay thousands of dollars, by the way, to take this course. It's not cheap, you know, and studying it at Harvard is not cheap. But I'm sharing with you. The first time I saw this, I said, wow, where are we from this kind of knowledge, right? I want my community to benefit from this. And that's why I would really appreciate it if you don't take it lightly. Don't take this information lightly, right? This is information people use it to change policies in countries, international, to fight famine and, logistics of relief work and all of that. So if we use it, actually our problems will be very little. We can fix it very fast. So I want the sisters to adopt this model and take one problem at a time. And once you get well versed in it, it becomes very easy, Okay, let's put it on the board. Let's see what is the issues. You can sit with some youth and figure out the issue. So alhamdulillah.
Assalamu alaikum. While we're waiting, I would love to say something too.
Welcome, Sister Safa. Yes, go ahead.
So from a point of view from somebody who's new to the masjid, I even didn't really know you are looking for volunteers and working with volunteers. just that being said, from my point of view, it's not really out there. So I'm sure there's other people like me, maybe they want to help, but they don't know. Maybe that can help in the finding volunteers.
That's a valid point, Sister Farouk. That's a valid point. And that's why we've been working on this survey so we can get it out as soon as possible. And if you are in any of the sisters group, I always kind of comment saying we need volunteers.
Sorry for that. My computer just logged out.
All right,
Welcome back, Chief. Yep, we can get started.
Okay. So let's apply now our issue here. So Sister Mariam, you can share, open up and share the fishbone structure, the diagram.
Yep. Opening it up right now.
Okay. And I want all sisters to participate. Now I want you to think about, let's say, 4 important issues or challenges facing us when we want to recruit volunteers for the month of Ramadan. So problem, you're going to type your problem. What is the statement that we agreed on? Recruiting Ramadan volunteers. The problem.
So that would be the main bone.
That's
correct?
the problem. That's the main deal.
Okay.
It has to be as simple as it comes. You know? You can design later, you know? We can just type things and you can work on alignment later.
Yes, inshallah.
Recruitment Ramadan volunteers. Okay, we have 6 main challenges here. We can make 6, we can make 3, we can make 4, you know? But I want the sisters now to start telling me, we're not gonna type until we make it tangible, like an issue really. What would be one major challenge in recruiting Ramadan volunteers?
So Sister Safa just spoke while we were waiting for you, Sheikh Mamdouh. She said that she didn't even know that we were looking for volunteers. So maybe the channel of information is one category.
Say it again.
A channel of information. So how
What
do
does
people
that mean?
like what channels of information are being updated with the so for example, is it on the website? Is it showing up on the app? Is there a form?
Okay, so can we say channel of information, or we can say information availability, or information channel of information is good actually, because not availability of information means information reaching people as well.
Yeah,
right?
basically communicating it, basically, yeah.
Okay, so we can say just write information for now. What else? Lack of info, it will come under information. You know, when you have information, you know, you see those small green arrows, you're gonna write all the things relating to information under them. So we have information now. Make it darker a little bit, if you can make it darker.
Yeah, I'll try that again.
Yeah. You can say information management, maybe. Or why it is getting darker? Why is not? Yes, information management. Okay. Okay, good. What would be the second thing? Major. I want a major challenge, not tiny little thing. When I say major, I want you to think about few problems that you can gather them under one. You know, like, you know, okay, traffic control, for example. I'm not talking about here, but under traffic control comes too many things, right? What type of vehicle, what is this, what is that, what is the traffic lights, you know, lots of things under it. So I don't want you to start mentioning smaller and smaller things that all of them can be gathered in one. That's why we start with the bigger issue. I want to train my head to think about this, the major issue. So now information about volunteering. What else?
Motivation?
Okay. Interest and motivation. The interest and motivation, it goes both ways, right? Interest from the volunteer and motivation from internal or external? We are going to talk about that. What else? What else?
Unclear needs, like not well defined where we need the volunteer,
Yes.
like the jobs, like what do you need, or like volunteers, like you say, okay, so people keep saying volunteer. I say, okay, I'm volunteer. What exactly do you want me to do?
Yeah.
You know, am I qualified to do it? If you want me to like be a valet parking, well, I don't know how to drive stick shift, so I can't help.
What is that problem? Like, where does that problem come from? Does it come from the organization or from the person, from both? What
organization,
Organization.
not well-defined needs. The needs are not
The
well-defined.
specification.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay. How you format that? Like, give me a clearer statement.
Detail of the
job description.
yeah,
basically.
job specs.
Mhm.
What is that? So can write unclear role definition, or
Yes. Unclear job descriptions or something like that.
but we'll come to job description under the role definition. You know, who's who? Yeah, we want to know. Nobody knows who's who. Okay, type 3 more. Keep thinking. How about finances?
Incentive, you mean?
Well, under finances, we're going to put incentives.
Okay.
Like finances. Like, do we have a clear budget?
Mhm.
That also can affect recruiting volunteers, right?
Yes.
Like, we want volunteers, but we don't have a budget to the issue. Yeah, and the masjid itself does not have a budget for that thing. Okay, we want kids to babysit. I know babysitting is already figured out, but I'm just giving an example. We want babysitting, but the masjid did not say we want babysitting and we can create a budget for it.
Mm.
At least that's not there. And when a budget is there, we do not know how to allocate it and how much we're going to pay. No research. And from the other side, so why do I volunteer? What do I get? Okay, so basically you can put finances, and under finances we'll put incentives and all of that. What else?
Who to go to? Who is the owner of the project?
Wait, say it again.
Owner of the project. Who to go to for, like, if you need to solve audio problems in the masjid and you wanted to volunteer for that? Who is the owner of that project? Who is in charge of that?
I'm going to write it down, even though I know it's going to go under one of them, but I'm going to write it down now for the purpose of learning. Okay, so let's say that, because we said defining unclear role definition, right?
Mhm.
That goes under it, right, Sister Nora? Like, we do not know who's who.
Right. Who owns the project? Like, if I wanted to volunteer for any category of volunteers in the masjid, whom do I contact that? Okay, this is my skill, and how do I offer my skill? Who is the go-to person for that?
Yeah.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, now this contact person will go under unclear role definition. You know, one of those arrows. It's not one main category. It is under unclear role definition, one of the green arrows. You see? Now, what else?
The people, maybe the kind of people you're looking for. How many do we have? Is there even enough people to volunteer from?
So qualification.
Qualification, yeah.
Yeah?
Oh, would that be under role definition also?
Yes, exactly. Thank you. Now you're thinking. Now we're on the same page. So you're going to say qualifications. All right, what else? You see, now you started thinking, right? Because now you have the diagram in front of you, so you know which is a category, which is a subcategory. Automatically, already you are doing it. But our problem, Sister Nurad, like, we sit in a room and we do not have any structure. We don't have any structure in front of us. So everybody giving, mashallah, good feelings and good stuff, and the problem is not solved.
Time frame.
Yes, exactly, mind frame. So what else would be a main category?
Time frame.
I don't know how to put it, but what is it make volunteers once they come, they don't come back, for example, if that's a problem.
Retention, like
So you're gonna
Like they
say,
come maybe one time or
Retention,
they
very good, very good.
register, but then they don't keep coming.
Okay, what is the add value?
retention.
Add value. What is the add value? What is the add value for me if I volunteer? Yes?
Yes,
think it-
maybe.
I think
Yeah.
it's retention will be retention issues. Retention issues will be a good one.
Okay, now you're gonna say it like that, retention? Not returns, retention, yeah.
Because you can have this year enough volunteers, but then the problem comes next year. Like I would
Exactly.
try to solve it, like you don't have it next year again.
Yeah, that's why we said interest and motivation, right?
Would reliability go under retention as well?
What do you mean by that?
Like they signed up, they say, okay, I'll sign up, I'll be there, and then they don't no show.
No,
that's motivation.
We're gonna make this, no. We're gonna make this a major one called accountability,
Accountability. Yeah.
right? Accountability, both sides, accountability of the masjid, accountability of the team leader, accountability of the volunteers, right? Everybody has to be accountable. It does not mean that you volunteer means you're not accountable. Imagine if Brother Nader said, I'm not free today, I'm not gonna run the masjid affairs. Yeah, it doesn't work like that. He's a volunteer. That should go the whole chain. Like Sunday school teacher cannot come in the morning and say, you know what, I don't feel good today, I'm not gonna go. No. There is no difference between you and the one volunteers to clean to vacuum the carpet and the one who's running the masjid. There should be no difference. You are volunteers mean you committed, so accountability. One more measure. Keep coming with ideas. We can make them major or minor, it doesn't matter. But we need to fit.
Time frame for volunteer. Is there a set time?
You said time frame?
You're right. So people want to know, is this going to work with my schedule?
So can I just say scope?
Yeah, scope of time.
Yeah, scope of assignment. Scope of assignment. That's also under unclear role definition. Yeah. What else? What else? Tell me what else we have a problem.
Logistics.
Logistics. You can write logistics, but logistics will be, yeah, just write logistics. Logistics is good as a major one. Now we're not going to put more because we can keep going. But for this stage, you need to abide by the diagram in front of you in this stage, right? Now, we want to go into information management. What are the subcategories that we can put? Media outlets, right? Media outlets, like, how we are going to relay the information to the community, yes? So media outlets, information management. You need surveys, right? Surveys, yes. You need to survey. What is your community? What is the community made of? Yes. More female, more male. You need surveys and you need people to show their interest, right? So that's information management. And then you have to say analyzing information. Those who will analyze the information in the back end. All right. Now, if we go to logistics, Sister Nurat, what is in your head when you say logistics?
So I'll give you a prime example.
Yes,
so
yes.
We have ISGH are wanting to do Syria and Turkey drive and assigned different masjids to take on this project. So the Masjid al-Salam, the youth, mashallah, put a great effort together to get donations, which we did, and they thought do it for the second day. The second day we had to halt because ISGH downtown, they said no more collections. So we've already sent out the information. We've dispersed the information. You can bring your donation Friday and Saturday. And all of a sudden, people are already spend time, money, and resources. There's no place to bring them.
What is that problem? Anybody can tell me what is that problem? Summarize the problem for me that Sister Nora just mentioned now. There is no previous planning, right?
Previous planning, yes.
There is no previous planning, means that we did not think it through. We are just going on the go, right?
They didn't think about, like, for example, the obstacles were not, what were the variables that could get in the way, perhaps?
So criteria. No
Yeah.
defined criteria, right?
It was a last minute emotional reaction
Yes.
with no clear thoughts to the
So
goal.
Yeah,
The
so
execution.
basically, we don't have well thought plan. And logistics need well thought plan. How are you going to do the logistics if you do not have a plan? If you don't have a goal? If my goal is to collect 100 blankets, right? And we say we have 100 blankets, khalas, we're done. Or my goal is 8 p.m. Thursday, February, whatever, right? That by 8 p.m. we're done. That's a criteria. You know? You say lack of planning, no criteria. There are also no criteria. What else?
I'm sorry. I don't know if I'm the only one with this problem, but I can't hear the Sheikh anymore.
We can hear him.
Yeah. I think you're, I don't know. No criteria. Then what you have in logistics? Management. You know, you have to have a logistic team, and you have to have a management, a manager who's managing the logistics, not Brother Nazir, the administrator, right? So logistics has to be managed, and you have to have a team. Just say management. Management is an issue. What else? See, this is the category, logistics. But then the causes of what the category is, you have to. You can have two only, there's no problem. You know, because management will help with execution, right? Management will help with planning and execution and everything. What else with logistics? Evaluation, right? We need evaluation. We need to evaluate what we did.
Yes.
To improve our plans and logistics. So write evaluation. All right, now we go to the accountability. What are the causes that give us failure in accountability?
Not keeping others accountable.
No, you don't repeat the category. Give me the cause of the category. And what makes the person feel that they are not accountable? Punctuality would be like a symptom. No, it's not about no. What makes people feel that they are not accountable when they volunteer?
I think the definition of the volunteer itself, like the thing it's a choice if they do it or not.
They don't keep their word.
So what they are looking at, right?
Well, sure.
No, you're right. Like, what is the add value? The added value. What is the added value for me? They don't feel there's any added value. Added value can be al-akhirah, right? The day of judgment. The added value can be feeling good. The adding value can be feeling a community, but they are not having that. They're not seeing, they are not associating added value with volunteering, right? And added value can be money, can be anything.
Would that be
What-
part, sorry, would that be part of interest?
What?
Would that be part of interest?
Yeah, you can. Thank you. Just put it up there. Now, accountability, again. Don't tell me the result of not feeling accountable. Result of feeling accountable, you're not punctual, you're not this, you're not that. But think about it. Like accountability, what will come with accountability? Connecting it with religion, right? If you connect it with belief, relating it to belief, relating it to faith. People are not relating it to faith, right?
Also not understanding the impact of their contribution.
Ah, that's wonderful. See, awareness of impact. That's a big one. Because if you know, like as I was saying in the khutbah, if I know that 20 minutes times 1,500 people is not 20 minutes anymore. They're not 20 minutes anymore. Times how many masajid, times how many khutbahs in each masjid, you can imagine now hundreds of thousands of hours are wasted every Friday if people are not getting something. Yeah? So the awareness of impact. Last one, the finances. It's easy. Let's throw a few things about finances. We have donors awareness. Donors awareness. Donors do not think that they should donate for volunteers. They should not donate for, they feel that things just happen by itself, right? So they do not donate. They just want sadaqah for the poor, right? Donors awareness. What else?
Not everything is free. Some things you still have to purchase. So you need money for those things.
You can say paid volunteering, paid volunteering.
No, I'm not even talking about the people itself, like
The project
itself, some things you have to purchase for the project. So
yeah.
Budget for the project.
So you can say what? Project what?
Budget for the project.
Budget,
Oh.
project budget. Okay.
Yeah, project budget. All right. Now, I want you to look at it now. Please take a few seconds, take 30 seconds to look at everybody, all sisters, to look at the diagram in front of you. Okay, now my question to you, is your perception of this problem the same?
No.
So what is the difference?
Identifying the problems and trying to create solutions to it.
Right. So basically, we have not discussed any solution yet. No solution at all. What the exercise we just did now, we kind of trying to encompass the problem from all its sides. Yeah? So now, at least we have in front of us a structure that is telling us every thing as much as we could relating to volunteering. You can take this at home and start editing it. Make it better. You see? So now we know that volunteering is not just a teenager or a sister volunteering in the masjid. Oh, I'm here to volunteer. Please assign me something. That's not as simple as that. It has logistics issues, and under that there are few challenges. Information management. I don't know what should I volunteer. I should know before I come there. I said, but guys, I went to your website and I found this, and I think I have the qualification that you are looking for. Where should I apply? When should I start? Yeah, if information problem, finished. Now it comes the logistic part after that. How I'm going to do my job. Now I found my qualification, I'm accepted as a volunteer, but how I'm going to go about it. Before the information management, the people have interest or not. And once they come, they don't know who's who. And then from the masjid side, how much are we allocating to this? So now, Sister Murad, when you are talking about volunteering for Ramadan, that is what you're going to be dealing with, right? And that is what we need to create a solution for. Create a solution for. Next week, I'm going to, inshallah, fill the next diagram with the solutions, right? So now, how can we get to a solution from here? Anybody? Just guess. You don't have to be right, man. Just guess. So now I see the problem in front of me.
Just understanding the definition of the problems also makes you aware, and then you can find solutions already from the problems.
Okay, but which one can I start with first? Because I cannot manage all of those at once, right? But
So
which one of those I can start with today?
To identify the players, like if I'm if there's anything here that I can do, I start with that, and then look for other people who can take on these responsibilities also.
So we have to work with existing volunteer body in the masjid, right?
Yeah.
To do the logistics, to do the definitions, to do the finances, right? To work on that before we open it for the volunteers from outside. So Ramadan committee has to sit down and say, what do we have for our volunteers? Oh, we have babysitting, we have cleanliness of the masjid, we have the parking lot, we have da, right? Write them down. What is the qualification for first one? What is the qualification for second one? What's the qualification for third one? What is the expectation from number one? What's the expectation from number two? How do you see it? And what is the masjid's duty toward those volunteers? 1, 2, 3, 4. Once you have that done this week, then you are going to go to the information management. The media team has to take it and post it. Then I, the sheikh, in the khutbahs or the masjid, or we as a group, we say, how to motivate people, how to relate this to, to the importance and all of that, and what you get, what is the added value, okay? And then after that, we tell them once they come in, we identify the logistics and we tell them that accountability and what they get in return and all of that. So that is the order, right? So now this is the dream. This is the way I see it. Okay. So now what would be the main, how you see it? So you're gonna take that problem, recruiting volunteers. You're gonna say, having enough volunteers for Ramadan working in harmony, right? So that is the outcome you want to see, yes? That is the outcome you want to see. What would be the input? We have the solution, then we have the input, then we have outcome, and then we have impact. The impact is volunteers are doing their job seamlessly to serve the community of Ramadan. That is the impact. Yes, impact. Before that impact, there is an outcome that led to it. Logistics are figured out. The masjid administration are working, to facilitate everything for volunteers. That's an outcome. But that outcome came from something. So if this, that happens. And if this, that happens. That is what we're going to work on next week, inshallah. But I want you to take this, my sisters, do two things this week. One, try to look at it and take a separate diagram. Maybe Sister Mariam can send all of you the editable copy, and try to come up with your own. Doesn't matter. It can be right or wrong. We can consolidate. Maybe you can edit a better one. Number two assignment, you apply the same thing to your own problem. Like Sister Siti said, she has some issue, some problem. So apply that. And you can even do it with home, dealing with your child, dealing with your neighbor, something like bothering you. So you put it in the head, and then you start putting the main categories, and then you start subcategories, and you see how you can handle it. Are we good?
Yes.
All right. Jazakumullah khair for today. and nobody would say that this is a sheikh's lecture, you know.
No,
I was
definitely it
thinking
is.
that, Sheikh. I was thinking that.
No, no.
I
Like I
just
said,
told
it's
you.
with the sheikh, it feels like an MBA class, mashallah. So
I'm
it's
just
in the light of
telling
Islam, of
you,
course.
actually, that is our sunnah. The
Yes,
sheikh is not only to teach wudu and salah.
yes.
Sheikh is dispensing the knowledge that he has to benefit his community. That's it. That knowledge can be anything. And that's why at all times, sheikhs will teach math, will teach the inheritance, will teach fiqh, teach Quran, will teach math, science, different things. Yeah, and the most beautiful thing is when you incorporate this secular education to your religious and Islamic education.
Right. So Sheikh, we have a Google form that we are starting for the volunteers. Inshallah, whether if you want to be part of it, otherwise I was going to ask the sisters to stay for a while so we can work on it together.
I will be part of it, but don't expect that I will be there every step of the way.
No, just for now. If you have time, we can share it with you.
I'll give advice. I'll put notes. No problem, inshallah.
Jazakallah khair.
I really enjoyed the class and I hope you benefited from it. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala benefit us with what we say and what we hear. Walhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Wa alaikum assalam.